Hello everybody, this is AK. I'm back. Regular long-time readers of my blog would know that I really like the CPF, right? And I really like it a lot during the years of low interest rates. And I kept talking about doing voluntary contributions and topping up our CPF accounts. And till today, I still say that topping up the special account and the MediSave accounts, is a good idea, right? Because they pay 4% per annum upfront, risk-free and volatility-free. But when it comes to voluntary contribution, I've changed my tune, right? So since last year, I said that doing voluntary contribution for my age group isn't as beneficial, especially if for someone like me who has already hit the basic healthcare sum in the MediSave account. So doing voluntary contribution, the money goes into the OA and the SA, and the split based on my age group would give me an average interest of 3% per annum. So I say in the environment where interest rates and yields are higher, it makes sense for me to buy the Singapore savings bonds whenever its 10-year average yield is higher than 3% per annum. And that's what I've been doing. So money which would otherwise have been earmarked for voluntary contribution to my CPF account was used to buy Singapore savings bonds. And on screen you see emissions in 2023, 2024 and 2025. Because the plan was originally to keep doing voluntary contribution to my CPF account till I turn 55 years old, right? And that's the year when I would have a retirement account set up, and money will go into the RA so that I'll be enrolled in CPF Life, which would pay me a monthly income for the rest of my life from age 65, right? Or 70 if I choose not to activate it at age 65. So that was the plan. But now I think Singapore savings bonds would be a bit more rewarding, and it kind of mimics the CPF because it is 10 years in duration, and but it's not exactly the same as a CPF because it will last only for 10 years. It will not count towards compounding for CPF Life, for example. So I thought about it very carefully, and I decided, okay lah, I think I have sufficient savings in my CPF account to form a relatively meaningful safety net, right? For in case all else fails, I have my CPF savings, and Singapore savings bonds and T-bills are also risk-free and volatility-free. It's not likely that they go kaput, right? Just like CPF is unlikely to go kaput, right? So unlike what some people think, right, I'm not here to haolian about my CPF, or in English, not here to show off my CPF, which some people think that's what I was doing for so many years when I shared my CPF numbers. It's really to inspire people to think about taking advantage of the CPF system to grow nest egg for retirement in a risk-free manner, right? And from the comments I get from readers, I think I have achieved that I think I've had some success, to put it that way. I've had some success, and I'm very happy about that. So I'm not interested in becoming the youngest person, CPF member, to have a $1 million in my OA alone, for example, and I made a video about that, right? I'm always very pragmatic about in my approach, right? And it's about how I can have a worry-free retirement, and I won't grow old and destitute, right? That's my biggest nightmare. Anyway, I've been rambling so much. So what happens is now Singapore savings bond this month is offering 3.4% per annum, right, in 10-year average yield. So I decided to take a look at the older Singapore savings bonds which I bought, and I found that there was one that I bought in May that was pays 3.07% per annum in average yield, 10-year average yield. So I decided that I will redeem that Singapore savings bond, and the money will come back to me next month. And but I want to buy the Singapore savings bond this month, so I have to ask my war chest for money. And when the Singapore savings bond from May, which I bought in May, comes back, you go back to topping up my war chest. So that's the plan. Because when we redeem Singapore savings bond, we don't get paid immediately, unlike a fixed deposit, we get paid in the following month, right? And I also, surprisingly, when I look at my CDP statement, and I really dislike looking at my CDP statement now because I have to go online. I prefer it when it was on paper, and I really dislike having to check my CDP statement online, but I was looking at it anyway just to be sure my records were accurate. And I found that I actually bought a Singapore savings bond way back in 2018, and I've forgotten all about it. And that one, the 10-year average yield was definitely lower than 3% per annum. But because I've had it for so many years, the interest rate is a bit higher now, but it's still lower than 3% per annum. So that one I'll be redeeming as well. I think I can use the money to buy T-bills in future when the money comes back next month. To strengthen my T-bill ladder, right? So, see, my mission in 2023, 2024, and 2025. 2023 achieved. 2024, the money coming back, I'll be using to buy Singapore savings bond with a higher yield this month, and 2025 is still work in progress, right? Already bought some in the last 2 months. So there's Singapore savings bond, and I have a blog about that which I just published this morning. So if you're interested to read up on the details, I will leave a link to the blog post in the description box below. And the next thing to talk about is Warren Buffett. And we know Uncle Buffett is a value investor. He's always talking about valuation and not paying a price that's too high. So his famous quotation is, price is what we pay and value is what we get. So if we've been following the news, we know that he invested in BYD very early on because he saw value. He did not invest in Tesla. Right. So, he made a very good investment in BYD, which is now doing very well, and I made a video on that recently as well, BYD and Tesla, and how they are performing, and how BYD could be the #1 EV supplier in the world, overtaking Tesla in the not too distant future. But I also saw in the news about how Uncle Warren Buffett has been selling stocks in BYD. Right, so you must wonder, hey, he's been selling stocks in BYD, so does that say something about BYD? Berkshire Hathaway sold $25.8 million worth of shares in China's BYD. So that's quite a lot of money, right? $25.8 million worth of shares. But it's not the first time he has done this. He has been selling bit by bit. So, like they say, there are many reasons why an investor might sell shares, but there's only one reason why he would buy, right? And or that's insiders, right? There are many reasons why insiders would sell shares, but only one reason why insiders will buy. I don't know whether Warren Buffett is counted as an insider or not, but I think he's close enough to the inside. Yeah, being such a major shareholder. But there's never a bad time to take profit, right? There's never a bad idea to take some profit off the table. So he's a very savvy investor, so maybe he sees valuation being richer now, and we're talking about BYD, whose stock price has gone up less than Tesla, right, in recent times. So it's up to you what you want to infer from that, but That's the news, and that's what I'm thinking of, right? So if AK can think of it, so can you. Bye bye.